what you see on the floor is staging of materials that are about to be used. There's electrical conduit, structural framing that other things hang from. So we call it unistrut. That's a generic name. But it's simply the channel that is flexible for fastening locations, but very strong based on which you're called out to use. This particular retail center has custom lighting racks that are pretty much theatrical stage lighting rails that are structural steel made out of gas pipe. And they're made to look that way. And then on top of those, underneath and coming from above, these are all hanging at certain elevations over certain products that they sell, are these heavy steel racks, and that the unistrut actually is up above and clamps off to structural beams and everything else to safely hold these things. They also hang from aircraft cable with special fasteners. The guy sitting over here is Ron. He's the superintendent on this project and is here most of the time. He knows the nuts, bolts, schedules, details of pretty much everything that's happening, coordinating between owners, architects, the landlord, trades, internally with our group, our building group, and good construction takes a lot of communication, a lot of planning, a lot of communicating of that plan, and a lot of communicating of the changes that may happen in that plan, which are nonstop. That's how construction is. Coordinating between various disciplines and trades and entities that they usually don't line up all that well. And that's what a general contractor does, is we coordinate the different trades and the different disciplines against the professional engineers, not against, but all these things are sometimes not gelling together, and we coordinate all that back. The landlord, our customer, the tenant in this particular case, the owner, we call them, all of the trades that are not our trades but are required to be used by us because the landlord, understandably, wants only one sprinkler company to be controlling the sprinkler systems, only one fire alarm company to be installing the fire alarms and connecting them up and how they communicate with the fire department, with the landlord. Only one roofer to maintain the warranty. So if there's a leak, they don't want to be calling 3 different roofers not knowing whose leak it is. Only one roofer, their roofer. So that's pretty typical of commercial construction. The stage of this project, the wood that you see in the walls, you say, well, what about this non-com thing? That's actually fire-rated lumber, and it's blocking for the future fastening of bookcases and handrails and cabinetry. Anything that mounts to a wall needs to have some structural blocking behind the light metal studs so that it can be held. And again, that's wood that's been treated to be non-com. Non-com simply means it won't add to a fire. You can burn it, but you have to keep adding fuel to it to burn it up. And that's what non-com, in the layman's terms, that's what it is. Our stage of construction right now is we're putting, firstly, we do all the framing. So we lay out all the walls and figure out what goes in the floors. That's all the plumbing and maybe some wiring, generally. That happens first. So we get all the underslab in. The stuff in the concrete, get it inspected, pour the concrete back, lay out all the walls, get the frames up. The framing then allows the other trades, electrical, plumbing, sometimes HVAC, low voltage, all those things to go into that framing. So the stage we are in right now is all the trades getting their stuff that gets eventually buried in the walls and above ceilings, and of course already below the floors, done, inspected, and approved to cover up. And that's what a rough-in inspection is for, that's the inspectors putting all the different facets of construction together, inspecting them for code compliance and compliance to the approved documents, so that now, yeah, it's okay, guys, everything looks good, you're allowed to cover up, and it's called a cover-up inspection. It's not like we're hiding anything, but really it does hide when you do, your drywall, your gypboard, or whatever you're covering. Your finished skins are. Now these things are going to be concealed and they need inspected before they're concealed. And that's just typical. So our stage right now is coordinating all of our rough-in inspections to get our cover-up inspection, which allows us to drywall or brick or There's a lot of different materials. There are bookcases that go in here, veneered finishes, solid wood finishes, metal finishes, plastic finishes in the back of the house, you know, near the mop sink, stainless steel near the mop sink. So there are a lot of different finishes that go onto this framing that are the parts that the customers and the employees will eventually see. That's the part, the flooring. That's the part that we touch when we go into a finished product, that the customers see, that the employees see.